Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to this video series on the Comptia Security Plus course, Secure Against Malicious Code. Depending on your company's policies and procedures, you might need to configure a higher level of security concerning ActiveX controls, Java, JavaScript, Flash media, phishing and much more. We discuss these more as we progress through the chapter. Web browser concerns and security methods. There are many ways to make a web browser more secure. Be warned though that the more a browser is secured, the less functional it becomes. For the average company, the best solution is to find a happy medium between functionality and security. However, if you are working in an enterprise environment or mission critical environment, then you'll need to lean much further toward security. Basic browser security. The first thing that you should do is update the browser. That is, if the company policy permits it. Remember to use a patch management strategy. You might also want to halt or defer future updates until you are ready to implement them across the entire network. Next, install Popup blocking and other ad blocking solutions. Many antivirus suites have Popup blocking tools. There are also third-party solutions that act as add-ons to the browser, and of course, newer versions of web browsers will block some pop-ups of their own. After that, consider security zones. If your browser supports them, you can set the security level for the internet and intranet zones and specify trusted zones and restricted sites. In addition, you can set custom levels for security. For example, disable ActiveX control and plugins. Turn the scripting for Java applets off, on and off, and much more. Cookies. Cookies can also pose a security threat. Cookies are text files placed on the client computer that store information about it, which could include your computer's browsing habits and possibly user credentials. The latter are sometimes referred to as persistent cookies, used so that a person doesn't have to log onto a website every time. By adjusting cookie settings, you can either accept all cookies, deny all cookies, or select one of several options in between. A high cookie security setting will usually block all cookies and that save information that can be used to contact the user, and cookies that do not have a privacy policy. You can also override automatic cookie handling that might occur by configuring the prompt option. This way, a user will be prompted when a website attempts to create a cookie. For example, in figure 5.5, my website www.davebrowse.com was accessed. The site automatically tried to create a cookie due to the bulletin board system code. The browser sees this, stops it before it occurs, and verifies with the user whether to accept it. This particular cookie is harmless, so in this case I would accept it. There is a learning curve for users when it comes to knowing which cookies to accept. I guarantee that once or twice they will block a cookie that subsequently blocks functionality to the website. In some cases, an organization deals with too many websites that have too many cookies, so this particular security configuration is not an option. So you can see here, figure 5.5, a cookie was created for davidbrowse.com. Tracking cookies are used by spyware to collect information about the web user's activities. Cookies can also be the target of various attacks, namely session cookies are used when an attacker attempts to hijack a session. There are several types of session hijacking. One common type is cross-site scripting, known as XSS, which is when the attacker manipulates a client computer into executing code considered trusted as if it came from the server the client was connected to. In this way, the attacker can acquire the client computer session cookie, allowing the attacker to steal sensitive information or exploit the computer in other ways. Recover more about XSS later in this chapter. LSOs. Another concept similar to cookies is locally shared objects, LSOs, also called flash cookies. These are the data that Adobe Flash-based websites store on users' computer, especially for Flash games. The privacy concern is that LSOs are used by a variety of websites to collect information about users' browsing habits. However, LSOs can be disabled via the Flash Player Settings Manager, aka Local Settings Manager, in most of today's operating systems. LSOs can also be deleted entirely with third-party software or by accessing the user's profile in Windows. For example, in Windows, typical path would be see users, your profile, app data, roaming, macromedia, Flash Player, shared objects, variable folder name. Add-ons. You can also enable or disable add-on programs for your browser in the settings or the add-ons management utility, but be wary with add-ons. Many companies will disallow them entirely because they can be a risk to the browser and possibly to the entire operating system or even the network. For example, in figure 5.6, the Shockwave Flash Object ActiveX control is selected on a computer running IE. There are scenarios where this control could cause the browser to close or perhaps cause the system to crash. It can be turned off by clicking disable toward the bottom of the window. Many add-ons are ActiveX control, and ActiveX can also be turned off altogether in the advanced settings of the web browser, depending on the add-on and the solution. Other ways to fix the problem include updating Flash and upgrading the browser. ActiveX control are small program building blocks used to allow a web browser to execute a program. They are similar to Java applets, can run on any platform, whereas ActiveX can run only on Internet Explorer and Windows operating systems. You can see how a downloadable executable ActiveX control or Java applet from a suspect website could possibly contain viruses, spyware, or worse. These are known as malicious add-on flash scripts, especially can be a security threat. Generally, you can disable undesirable scripts from either the advanced settings or by creating a custom level or zone. If a particular script technology cannot be disabled within the browser, consider using a different browser or content filtering solution. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider sharing and subscribing. Thank you.